Welcome to my unboxing of the Bitfenix Ghost. The funny thing about this Ghost is that you can see it. Whoa. Woo! Anyway, let's have a look at what Bitfenix has to say for themselves about the Ghost. Made of steel and plastic, it's an ATX form factor case, includes some cooling fans, which happen to be Spectre fans, and it fits a 240mm radiator on top, uses a nanochrome surface treatment. I'm very excited to see that. S4 hot swap and storage, cool, okay. 2 USB 3 super speed ports, silencing material, ultra silent 120mm Spectre fans included, pre-modded for Alchemy LED strips. Now that's cool. Fits long graphics cards and has a dual hinge door design. Now Alchemy LED strips are actually like the balling outest case lighting that you can get these days, because unlike cathodes, which have bulky inverters that go with them and they're heavy, they're hard to mount, they fall off all the time, unlike those solutions, LED strips, Spectres namely, Spectres, those are the fans, Alchemies namely, are lightweight. They come with a really high quality 3M adhesive on them so they don't fall off, and they don't need an inverter. They can plug directly into your power supply, and you can even daisy chain multiple ones together in order to get very even lighting throughout your case. Now it uses a hard foam, which I'm going to criticize right off the bat, because things like this happen. However, it remains to be seen if the case managed to survive its transport or whether it did not. So if it didn't manage to survive, then I guess I'll have to find another one and redo this unboxing, but okay. Oh, custom foam though. So let's go ahead and peel off the plastic. I'm not sure if you guys are even going to be able to hear me, because we're using the NCIX Tech Tips camera today with the microphone. So I don't know how much interference it's picking up from things like oh, this is kind of funny. One of them's popped out and one of them's in. So when I push on it, oh, never mind, it came this time. Last time the two ones swapped, which one was engaged and which one wasn't. So this is, what the heck? Oh, cool. So there's a hot swap here for, hold on a sec. That's cool. So you can put a 2.5 inch or a 3.5 inch drive in here, and it has little rubber strips on the bottom, which will A, protect the PCB on the bottom of the hard drive, and B, it will actually reduce vibrations, which can, again, cause damage to the hard drive or the data on it, and will cause it to be loud. So I've gone and retrieved a hard drive, which I will put in here like this, and then I will slide like this, and that's it. So it's a totally stealthy way to add an extra 3.5 inch or 2.5 inch drive to your system. Okay, Linus seal of approval on that idea, because I've seen implementations of hot swaps on cases that are terrible. See the DF85, ugh, just awful. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Filtered, good. Less relevant though for a top intake or exhaust, because usually you want that to be exhaust. Heat does tend to rise. You've got lots of different options for fans here, so you can do 140. This looks like either a 160 or a 140 or something. I don't know what this is, but it's bigger. It's bigger than normal. It looks like they've actually put in mounting holes for, oh, so they've given you a lot of different options, but the 120s are offset, and this is really smart because it allows you to install a dual radiator, sort of up here, and then the fans on the bottom, so it doesn't actually take up any space away from where you need, your motherboard or your CPU or your CPU block to be, and that's important because a lot of cases have room for dual fans, but as soon as you try to stack a radiator and fans, it gets pretty thick and it'll interfere with things like the MOSFET coolers on your motherboard or your CPU heatsink or whatever else you have there. So they've got this compartment up here so you can store the radiator away, and you can see they've cut out the ends here, which leaves room for the barbs and the tubing to come out of the radiator, although usually I'd probably orient it the other way, because otherwise this fan might get in the way depending on, it might fit. It might just make it. Okay, so let's go ahead and, okay. It looks like it didn't quite make the air shipment unscathed all the way from Asia to here. So it looks like one of these thumb screws got whacked and dented the back of the side panel a little bit. I'd say that's fairly minor as far as things being air shipped across the ocean go. So yeah, I've seen much worse. there's our sound dampening material on the inside. Gives some rigidity to the side panel that it otherwise wouldn't necessarily have, and looks good, sounds good. Neat, okay. So side panel's off. Side panel's pretty plain. No ventilation holes or anything like that. With the Ghost, they're going for more of, well, silence, as you may or may not have figured out based on the sound deadening material and the fact that it doesn't have, room for a bunch of blowing fans over top of the video cards or anything like that on the inside. Speaking of the inside, I haven't actually seen the inside yet, so let's go ahead and... No, we're not done with the outside yet. Right. Here at the front, we've got our LEDs. So there's your power and your hard drive, your front audio, your two USB 2, two USB 3 power and reset switches. Nice and recessed so you won't accidentally hit that one. And the front features a dual hinge design. You got your Bitfenix logo, which I think looks pretty nice. So you can actually open it this way to find the 3 5¼ inch and one 3½ inch bay. The filtered front intake, quite solidly built too, actually, very nice. And a Bitfenix Spectre 120mm fan with room for another one. This is smart, haha, check this out. Perforations in the hard drive cage. I have actually not seen this before, but you hear people complain that, oh, well, there's a fan here, but by the time you put hard drives in here, you're not even gonna be able to push any air through it. Now, I mean, it might not be a lot, but it'll be more than most cases. Smart. You can also see the ventilation. So from this angle, I hope you can see through here where some of the airflow will actually be coming in to feed these front fans, because otherwise they wouldn't be getting anything, because the front of the case, again, more perforations here, is using sound deadening material and is completely flat. Oh, you're trying to see something? I don't know what he's trying to see. Probably the fan. Check this out, though. Bam. I don't know what was that? Give me a sec. So cameraman's not sure why you would want to be able to open either side of a case. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the whole double hinge design, although it's, oh yeah, right, I put the little thing back in here, so it's fine now. But it's implemented better here than I've seen in the past, and more durably, in fact, as well. But there are still a couple things that I don't... Oh, hold on. Oh, it locks or something. Okay, hold on. Okay, I get it now. Actually, this is smarter than I thought. Okay, so the other main case is the Corsair 550D. That one has a double hinge front panel, and it's not that durable because it's permanently double hinged. This one is smarter because it allows you to put the case on either side you want, and then these pieces are actually for locking it to the particular orientation you want. So you can, so without these pieces in, it can be double hinged, okay? And then if you take these pieces here and put them in, then they are a lock. And it will no longer, oops, if you can actually get them in, there we go. And it will no longer open on that side unless you force it like I did before, thinking that it was just a double hinged case. So there you go. You guys won't make the same mistake as me. And let's just slide this back in. So you can see some stuff did come unseated in shipping, but by and large, the case did make it to us. So all right, so that's pretty good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 PCI slots. So you're not going to be fitting any XL ATX motherboards, but you will fit, your normal full-size ATX, micro ATX, MITX, should you want to put one of those in here, but I don't see the point of that. If you have MITX, you should get a Bitfenix Prodigy instead, which is like the coolest case that everyone's excited about. Okay, on the bottom you've got lots of intake options. So you can either do 120mm or 140mm fan from the bottom using a filtered intake that apparently goes in from, I have no idea how this gets in or out of here. Oh, it's magnetic. Baller. Okay, cool. There you go. Filtered intake. Bam. And then lots of room for your power supply to intake air, supports for your power supply if you have a longer power supply. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 3½ inch bays there, 1, 2, 3 dedicated 2½ inch SSD bays, toolless 5¼ inch bays, lots of cable management holes, and enough cable management room. Now this isn't the most ample space I've seen in the back of a motherboard tray before, but it's about 1 inch, so there is sufficient room to run a 24-pin cable without actually not being able to close the side panel, which is one of those things you run into, and it's very, very frustrating. So I'm going to go ahead and have a look at what they've got for internal connectors. You can see most of them are black. However, the front panel connectors are color-coded. I'm a big fan of all black internal connectors, but I'll give it a pass if most of them are black and then there's just a couple that aren't. So you can see the SATA connector as well as the SATA power connector for that front SATA dock are both black. It's got proper internal USB 3 pins, pin header, out, whatever, plug, okay, for the internal header, plug for the internal header, as well as a USB 2 lead that comes off of it. So you can even just cut this off if you're not going to use it, no big deal. All right, we've got a dedicated USB 2 lead for those USB 2 ports, front panel audio, as well as your front panel, your front panel connectors, which are all red and black. Now that's odd. If you're going to color code them, and then if you're not going to color code them, make them black. So that would be my feedback. 2 Spectre fans are included, the one in the front and the one in the back, although there is space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans natively without any changes whatsoever. Huge CPU cutout tray, so you'll be able to install your CPU cooler without removing the board from the case, and that'll save you some time. Lots of cable management holes. Let's have a look at what they've included in terms of the accessories here. So here's your rubber grommets as well as all your screws, bunch of thumb screws, manual. Okay. Here are your 2.5-inch hard drive sleds, or SSD, whichever you prefer. I mean, you can use Momentous XTs in a desktop system. No reason you can't. Very high performance solution. All right, and then there's your 3.5-inch drive sleds. It's an odd, I wonder if the production cases are going to come with these not pre-installed like this. I guess if it saves them a little bit of labor and doesn't actually take the end user very long to install, then it could be a benefit to everybody. But there you go. So those slide in just like that. And these ones can also support 2.5-inch devices as well. See, you can see there's 2.5-inch holes there, and lots of room with the honeycomb design for cooling for the hard drives that are installed in them as well. So thank you for checking out my unboxing and first look at the Bitfenix Ghost Quiet Computer Case. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.